welcome to the GROUPEX Podcast, mate. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks for having me. It's been exciting to be on board, actually. I'm excited to share some stories.
So am I, mate.
Some stories from you, no doubt.
I love it. Now, I'm going to kick it off with one word that describes you. What would you say one word that describes you is?
One word that describes me. Uniquely me, it would be just like very quiet.
Okay.
Quiet.
Well, I think I'm going to bring a different side out of you tonight, but we'll wait and see.
Probably will. Yeah.
And see how we go.
Yeah.
Now, have you got your mobile phone near you?
I have.
Yep. Who was the last person that texted you, and what did it say?
The last person that texted me, and what did it say?
Yeah.
You got any questions here now? I've got it out. It was. You're not going to credit this. It was Lee Smith.
Mr. Smith.
It was me, Smith. Yeah, it was Mr. Smith.
And what did he say?
It was, I can't wait to ride 100 with you, mate.
Yep. Brilliant.
Plus a bit more, but I'll leave it at that.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So it's ironic. It was Lee, and Lee, we go back away. So which is nice.
Mr. Smith. Credit to Mr. Smith. He's a good bloke. Or as who was it that said to me? I think it was Adam Rigby. I chat with Adam where he said, Lee, that's Sheila. Yeah, she goes all right. She does that. Lee Smith.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on, mate. How did you get into the fitness industry, mate? Where does your journey start?
Oh, well, so as you can see, I started way back. Ironically, it was really weird in the beginning because, I played sport as we all did, cricket, footy, growing up with it, and I broke my scaphoid with playing footy, and that was 26 when I did that, and my boss didn't like it that much. He said, you need to give away footy. So I gave away footy and I just continued to play cricket, which was great. And when I think it was about 34, 35, I think it was. I'm 21 now because we go backwards in years, as you know.
Yep.
But 34, 35, I was playing cricket at Devonport and we won some premierships. And I just thought, they talk about it's time to move on and time to do something different, let the young ones come through. And I played my last game of cricket, and I just said to the guys, I was captain that year, I said, that's my last game of cricket. And they just thought, no, Bill, that's not you. You won't do that because you love it. And I said, no, I'm serious. And to this day, I haven't been back to a game. I still watch, keep in contact with the guys.
Yep.
But I haven't been back to a game.
Goodness.
Yeah. So that got me into I suppose, the world of gyms. I've always been, into my weight training, et cetera, et cetera. So my wife was going to the gym and she said, come along. And it's basically how it began. I got mates with a guy that went there. His wife was my wife's friend. And we did some weight training together. And that started the door ajar, I guess, to get me into this crazy world of group fitness, which I had no idea about. So it was fun at the time, and but very, as I look back now, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your first walking into a gym, you walked in and you just went straight into the weights room. There was the group exercises happening over on one side, obviously, but you were nowhere near that when you first.
No, hope in hell, mate. No. So the gym I was at was upstairs, downstairs thing. So the weight room down and the group exercise upstairs. I never went up there, and there was music going and up and downstairs, and never knew it. So that's where it all began. And then there was this time. Tracy, her name was the girl that was friends with Anne. She said Paul is putting on a new program that's called RPM. And I think you should train in it. And I said, well, what is it? And she said, I think she was the same. She said, I think it's riding a bike indoors.
Yep.
And I said the title at the time. I said, I think I could do. I'll have a crack at that. I'll have a crack at that. And so, did my training and really, really raw experience. Joe Wade was my trainer, back in the day. And at track 5, I remember the track I had, and it was I can't remember the name of the song. It was RPM 21 though. So if you could dig back to that, you might be able to find that. And I learned a lot that weekend, and I passed, which was back then. There was no, it was all video certification, etc. Sent it off, and I nailed myself a Friday night RPM class, and
fantastic.
First 2 classes, it was like didn't really know what I was doing. said things well, maybe not. I don't know. And that's pretty much how I got into it there. Yeah.
Yep. But I think that's one thing that I'll never ever forget my first RPM class. The shadowing that I had to do, as people know, as I've mentioned on here, for a good 12 weeks with Faster, Harder Scooter from 23, which I think I only ever played another handful of times because I not that I butchered it, but when you do something too often, you're like, yeah, I just can't do it again. Although I think I did do it on the last class that I taught in Canberra before we moved back up here. I sort of pulled it out of the vault to do it. But the first ever class was at Fitness First in North Sydney at Walker Street, which used to be a Living Well health club back in the day. And Shelley Townsend was the group fitness manager at that stage at that club. And she gave me an opportunity. She said, Tone, come on in. And it was to fill in a class. I think it was the Thursday night class. And back in those days, Thursday night shopping, was a thing.
Yeah.
That, no one would really go to the gym because it was Thursday night and they were out shopping and doing whatever they were. Does late night shopping still exist? That's one thing I've got to ask everyone. I suppose the shops are still open, but does anyone go?
Put the polls out there, I reckon. Pretty low score, I reckon.
But no, I just remember teaching, and it was a debacle. The tracks that I did that I hadn't really learnt properly, and one of the tracks was the In Excess New Sensation. I think it was a track 3 from memory.
Yeah, that
I finished easily 60 to 70 seconds before the music did. Yeah. So I just pressed stop.
As you do.
I was like, no, that's all we're doing with that one. I'm done there. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I had those moments myself back in those times, and so that was my entry into RPM, and then Tracy encouraged me. She said they may be looking for a male instructor to teach this program called Body Pump.
Yep.
And that was 2004 for RPM and 2005 for Pump come along, and Bill had never done a body pump class before in his life, and so when's the training? This is maybe like, I think it may have been like the Wednesday. And when's the training? Oh, it's on this weekend or the weekend after. Okay, so what is it? She set me up big time. She said, yeah, it's just weight training, and I thought, okay, well, cool, I'll go along to that, and went down to Hobart. Some people picked me up. I didn't know them. We pulled car. Get down there and rocked up down there, and I'm sure you might know Wendy Elphingston.
Yes, yep.
So Wendy Elphingston was my trainer, and walked in, and we was handed this, quite confident walking in after doing RPM. I was handed this pack with a video and your cassette and your notes and stuff, and she said, "Buddy, you've got chest tracking." And okay, no worries, I can do that. Yeah. But then I had to suddenly realise when we did the masterclass, shit, we've got to put this together with music. Yeah. You're talking about having 60 seconds.
How did it go?
Oh, that was fantastic. No, mate, I was a book.
You're allowed to swear on here too, yeah? It's okay.
No, good. I was like one shit was the word, and that's being honest. Like I suppose I go back to what you just said there. One word to describe me. I'm a harsh critic on myself. That's one thing I am. But back in that early days, I had no idea. Like, we put the music on and 2-2. What the hell's 2-2? And we're just trying to explain this to me, and got through the weekend, and I think we went back another weekend, and I didn't pass it, and had a couple of cracks of getting through, and I said, well, this music doesn't fit. I can't get the music to fit. It's not fitting them.
I love that. Yeah,
Bill,
music's not fitting these moves. What's going on?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I could do a chest press, I could do a deadlift, and all that stuff. That wasn't an issue. But putting it to the movement was like another story. And Bill, she said, and I still use these words today to the instructors that I train. The music will never change. You've got to trust the music and just go with it. And I still value those words to the day I'm still teaching now. And I feel like my timing is probably one of the biggest things I'm good at, from learning from that. And the other thing she said, get a broomstick and get in front of the mirror alone. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
No, I love that because that's, I'm going to say, similar to the experience that I had where it was, I'd been weight training for a couple of years before I did my pump training. Pump on 56, I think it was 50. God, now I'm losing my brain. I'm sure it was 56, but it was with Andrew Taylor in here in North Sydney, and it was so foreign. I mean, I'd been participating in pump, but when all of a sudden I just didn't have to mimic what they were doing, I had to remember what was going on, and that was to go for a good 5.5, 6 minute track of, holy, what now? I can go up there and I can lift things 12 times and do 3 sets of them and have a break in between, and I'm feeling good about myself, and there's music playing, and I'm like, this is fantastic. But to know that it was a 4-4 singles, 2-2, 3-1, whatever, that just blew my mind. And I think I didn't teach pump for very long. I think I probably, in all honesty, I maybe did 6 or 7 classes because I couldn't get a rise out of people. I did, there were, that body pump pan face that they all give you, that's just a stare, that there's no emotion, there's no nothing. They're focused and they're so determined what they're doing. That was just a struggle for me to go, hang on, you're not giving me anything here. I need something. I'm recharging off you guys when I'm teaching you here, and you're not giving me a thing. So no, we can't do it. But I'm pretty sure that there was because I had shoulder track. I had the body rockers. I like the way you move. And all I remember doing was going home and watching it because it was the Mike McSweeney days. It was the Mike McSweeney track. And I just sat there in the lounge room and annoyed the living crap out of my housemate at the time, because all I did was probably about 30 goes of that track to get it right, to get it so I sounded exactly the same as Mike McSweeney. I was like, that's going to make me pass. And Andrew Taylor passed me, but it was more, right, mate, you're going to pass and you're going to get up on stage with me afterwards. We're going to be, like Shannon did with me as well, the whole mentor process to go through. And I was lucky as well that North Sydney back in those days, we had so many of the trainers and presenters on the team that I was in an amazing environment to be able to learn from the best of the best.
You're very lucky, and that's one thing. Like I guess, like in Tassie, it is the isolation because you're on the island, and I had Wendy was here, but like I'm not sure where she was teaching. She might have been in Launceston. I'm not sure where she was teaching at the time. So you were really relying on, and I still do a lot. You're really relying on doing your own homework, doing your own practicing mirrors, etc., filming yourself. So much, and it's helped me, I guess, in a lot of ways, more so than just even in pump. It's helped me in my home life, work life, the whole lot. So Les Mills has got a lot of credit for, in my eyes, for my growth, and that's true.
This is the GROUPEX Podcast.
Take me back through your RPM module. So let's skip back from pump to RPM. You cast your mind back, man. I know it's.
Mate, I'm going. I'll have to put the fishing line in there and find the memory in the memory bank. Yeah, try me.
Let's see how we go. We'll see if we can get you to think about some of them. So it was a track 5 you did, yeah?
Yes.
Yep. How I suppose going into that training module, not coming from a group exercise background at all, it would have been exceptionally foreign. How can you talk us through your experience? Can you talk us through, if you can, take your mind back and give me some of the memories and what you were feeling, what you experienced?
The biggest, I think the biggest memory I have of it was actually presenting my track.
Yep.
And we did it because I think there was a reasonably big group, and Joe set it up in 2 circles. So it was, I was teaching track 5, and I have a funny feeling that it might have been Tim Reese, because Tim Reese was a training centre here in Tassie. I think he may have had the same track and was teaching together.
Yeah.
And so I was lucky enough, and I don't know if Joe knew this or he set it up that way, but I was lucky enough to be able to see Tim over there.
Yep.
And so every time Tim stood, I stood, and every time Tim sat, I sat. So I really didn't know what I was doing, but that was probably the biggest thing. And as far as the coaching language, I don't like whatever was coming out was coming out. I think there was probably nothing there. But the group were very supportive, and I still have a lot of contact with those, the ones that did it originally. Obviously from Tassie, so that was probably my biggest memory of that. The rest of it's probably like just a blur, white.
Well, I'll be honest and say I think even the programs themselves, as we know, they've evolved so much since the early 2000s. Even the training has. The training, the way the training modules were run then compared to how they're run now are so different, so different. I think the programs and the company itself evolved You know, it had to. Could you imagine if we were doing that style of training that we went through back in 2003? If we were doing exactly that now, it just wouldn't land as well as what we're doing now is.
No. And the good thing it is too, the trainees or instructors that are coming through, they're getting a bit of preparation. So they're getting the support prior, much more transparent stuff that's happening. For me, walking into a room with here you go, there's your notes, go and learn it. You're going to do it.
Did you bring your discipline?
This afternoon.
You
come back in the year. I might do it in the year.
Yeah. I love it. And was Pump pretty much the same? Although you would have had more confidence in actually being in front of people.
Pump was a big one. That was a turning point. It's a hard subject to talk about, but like I mentioned Tracy, a while ago, and so Tracy passed away. She had a brain. She had a seizure. She's 33. She was, and she had a seizure. Wasn't long. Either before I trained, I can't remember if it was either before I trained for, finished my training for Pump, or was just after. And, and I tell the story to all of my module trainees that she drives me still, it's a silly thing because I think it was, I don't think she saw me complete that module. I don't think so. And it makes me, proud to be able to say, hey, I did it back then, but not only that, mate, I'm still going okay, which is the big thing. So, but aside from that, Jenny Edwards, lovely lady, she was one of the instructors at the gym I taught, and she took me under her wing and got me up on stage, and she said, you need to take this track, that track, and which was got me going. And then, one night she said, Bill, you can take the warm up. I was like, fuck, shit yourself, Jesus Christ, I've got to start the track, and and the same things that resonate with your mind, like I said after the class, I said, I can't do those warm ups, I can't do them. She goes, well, you better give up. You better give up then, because you got to do a warm up. Yeah. And so just screw from there.
Thank you for sharing that information with us as well. I know that as you said, it hit a heartstring there. But you and I really haven't met properly prior to this. But I'll say right now, I'm proud of you for continuing on and doing what you're doing and making the impact that you're making within our industry. It's that shoulder tap moment, isn't it? Of if she hadn't really said to you, hey, what do you think about this? Or by the way, it's on Saturday.
It's on Saturday.
I think that's gold, because that you wouldn't be where you are now.
No, that's right. And I guess I'll go back to that when you first said that, the first word you said to me, describe yourself in one word. If I had the time, passionate. I'm really passionate about what I do. So, and that drives me. And it will continue to drive me that way as well. So
What's new in fitness? The Australian fitness industry news and commercial gym equipment suppliers website designed to provide fitness industry professionals with knowledge and information to make better informed business decisions.
Love it. Mate, so talk to us about how the opportunity came up then to join the team.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Wendy, lovely Wendy.
She's a top chick, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a beauty.
We should give her all the credit in the world.
Give her all the credit. She'll be.
Wendy is you're a legend, Wendy. I know you're going to be listening to this. So
I reckon she'll be listening. And so when you're listening, Wendy, can you remember the Friday nights at Health Glow when we used to teach body pump?
Righto. She's probably having
right now. She'd be smiling and laughing. Yes, I do.
Yep.
So that's how it all started, mate. Really, I took an opportunity and went to teach at another gym, and that's where Wendy was teaching, and I kind of rolled from there. She said to me, we're looking for some assessors, and so she said that was about 2006 or 7, I think it might have been. I'm going back a while. My mind can't turn back to the right time. And I said, what's that? And so she told me that, and that's got me a foot in the door there to start doing some assessments for. I think it was just for RPM to begin with.
Yep.
And then part of the recruitment phase there was go to Canberra into head office and meet the people, etc. And Sharon Humphries, she was so met Sharon, lovely, and I'm not sidetracking, but I'm just weaving my way through my memory, and I was lucky enough to be on the same voyage as a guy called George Tonga.
Oh, I think I've met him before.
You might have met him before, yeah. So George and I met in a hallway at this venue, and he had his hat on back the front and looked pretty cool. And here's me thinking, what the fuck am I doing here? Like I don't know. Like once again, I'm out of my water. So George was really good. We kind of hit it off from day one and got through that. So I became an assessor, and did that for many years. And an opportunity came up for us. And how did it happen now, Tony? You got me thinking. An opportunity come up for, I think Les Mills were going around states and just doing like interviews or sessions where you can go in and present and blah blah blah. So I went in and had a go at this process, and luckily enough I got on board for RPM just as a see how it go. But then there was a point where it kind of stalled. I shadowed a couple of times, and then there was an email that kind of came out and said that we weren't required anymore. That was the end of that. Now, so broke my heart, and I thought, well, that was that. And Wendy was great. She talked to me and said, "Don't give up. There's always going to be opportunities, more, and blah 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 blah." And then the next journey for that was Lee Smith. Met Lee, and Lee kind of said to me, like, "So you can see you got something, and keep working at it." Wasn't officially on the team, but Lee was the leader, the guy he is. I've still got things written down, and I still use those words that he said to me some days to remind myself where I am and what I can do, And that got me to into RPM first. So I was into there. And then I guess the pump one, a late bloomer. So 2000, I actually wrote it down because I knew you'd ask for this. 2015, I went to Launceston, and Karen Russell was the trainer.
Yes, yeah.
And we had a 2-day elite training, I think it was called back then. And I had the shoulder track, and Tassie, it gets cold, but it gets warm, and the gym he was in was quite hot day. And to make it worse, the morning I got there, I stayed at the hotel that night. I come out and my number plates had been stolen. Some bugger took the number plates, and I come into the gym and I was all in the tears like that. And so Karen was saying, like, do your track, present it. So we presented the track, and she said, I want you all to try and do something that's totally, not unique to you. So I had this. I think it was ping pong, was the shoulder track, I think it was called. So I thought I was going to use this ping pong move, you think, and Bill can't move. I can move the barbell up, down, not to music. So that didn't go down real well. Karen said to me, you got to make it so it's, it looks authentic. If you don't, if it doesn't look authentic, it's going to look shit, and I think it looks shit. So she said to me, one more presentation this afternoon, I want you to do this. I want you to do this. And it was more about like using my strength as my outward focus to make an impression on the people down. And it was the last track to do it. And I just remember at the end of the track, I remember doing what she did, and I looked down and I could just see Karen. She was just going like that. And I thought, oh shit, I must have done something right there, And then she came up to me after. She said, Billy, I want you on the team.
Awesome, mate. Awesome.
That's how it started.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's how that started. And as I said, late bloomer, 2015. Do the maths. I'm in the 50s.
Yeah, no, you were only 21, mate. Come, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's right, 21. Yes, I'm in the 50s. And I think this is the biggest thing that I really hold my pride on. Michelle Dean, and then they were honest with me. They said, like, being in a nice way, like you're on the older side of what most people are doing. And they said, we'll give you like a 12-month contract and see how it'll go. I think I'm going okay.
I'd say so, mate. How many years are we talking now? It's
Oh, well,
2015 to
yeah,
mate.
2015. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. So yeah, lucky enough to rub shoulders with people I never ever thought I would do, and
Yep.
create friends. George, Dallas, Lee. Not only that, but there's instructors that I've hit it off with.
Yeah.
A young guy called Zach in Melbourne. We regularly talk to each other on a message. Just touch base how things are, and catch up.
Amazing.
Yeah, just amazing.
Yeah, the amount of people that we connect with in whether it's other trainers, other presenters, or in day-to-day classes, or as you're doing with the trainee stuff. And I think in the chat that I had the other week with Chrissy, I was actually saying that I'm still in contact with people that I met back in 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of people pre that date that I still have in my circle of friends. The community, that sense of camaraderie that you've got, that you meet from people. We've lived in Sydney, we've lived in Canberra, we've lived now here in Wollongong, and I've still got mates in Canberra that, I haven't been down there in 5 years, but I've still got mates down there that I'm really, really close to that I met they were a front row junkie, sitting in the front row, an RPM junkie going, yeah, Tony, this is bloody brilliant. We love it. You just have that connection with them. It's amazing. It's powerful. This thing called
It's the same. In Taz is the same. Like, we've got small communities, but like I maybe can't remember names, but there's people that's been doing classes like from years ago.
Yep.
I know their face. Who are they? But all of a sudden they may say, "Hey, Bill, how are you?" And "Oh, yeah, I know your name. I can't remember your name, but who are you?" I don't know. It just brings back memories, and and that's one thing. I guess that as I said quite earlier, like, I'm a really quiet guy. I don't have a lot of a big circle of friends, so. If you ask me a question, what did Les Mills give me? A voice. Yeah. They gave me a voice.
That's brilliant, mate. It's so nice to hear. So nice to hear as well. For not wanting to magnify your age, but knowing your age as well, because I did a bit of research before having a 21. Chat. Yeah, exactly. But to also get into it that much later in life is bloody brilliant, and to be given the opportunities you've been given. But prior to that, though, just getting in there and giving it a shot, it shows that anyone can do it.
Oh, anyone can do it. There's no limits.
Any fitness level, any age, I think you can get in there and give it a shot, because it's catered to everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't discriminate in any way.
It's so true. And like, as you know, you go back to the grassroots where we teach at the gyms and etc. And it shows in classes like, the app we use, it does show people's ages and stuff like that, and I'm so happy to see that there's not only the youth, but there's the twilight as well, plus more that are doing these programs that anyone can do, and they're doing it well, really well, surprisingly, and that's a credit to this stuff. It's scientifically done for a reason, and that's why it's good. You can't. I just. I'll wear my heart on it.
This is the GROUPEX Podcast.
The biggest event that you've taught at, what was it?
Taught or shadowed?
Let me rephrase that. The biggest event that you've been a part of.
Oh, yeah. So that'd be Les Mills in Singapore. Is that just prior to COVID?
Okay,
so
yes.
2019, I think it might be. Yeah. So, it was so good. Lucky enough to put my name forward, and I got asked to go over as a shadow and for pump and for RPM. That was massive. Loved it. Just to be in amongst the shoulders of the top line guys was amazing. And I'm going to flick back a little story to you before I go on with that. My first encounter with a guy called Glenn Ostergaard.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know who he is. No idea.
Yep, that guy.
We was at in Melbourne. I think it was a St Kilda. We was over there for an upskilling weekend or something like that. And I'd only just been not long after Karen had got me involved into that side of it.
Yep.
Knew no one, me being me, really quiet, subdued. I really found it hard to mix in with everyone like that. And I thought, I'm in the wrong space here. I don't know if I'm doing this right. What I'm doing here. And so I went outside and I was sitting on the steps and, talking to the wife on the phone. And, this guy came along and sat down beside me, eating his banana. And I started talking to him. I said, how you going? Like that. And my wife, Anne, said, who are you talking to? I said, I'm not sure. some fella. And he said his name. He said, oh, hi, I'm Glenn.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, g'day, mate. How you going? Like that. Shook his hand like that. And Anne knew, because she knew the background. You know, she said, this is Glenn. That's Glenn Oscar. I said, oh, is it? So anyhow, short story, long story, he actually got on the phone and spoke to Anne.
Love it. That's gold. Just this bloke. Yeah. G'day, mate. I love that.
Yeah, love that. Yeah. So then track forward into 2019. I was lucky enough to go to that. An awesome experience. Like, it's off the scale. Like walking into the room with massive room full of barbells and bikes and lights and stages and presenters, trainers, etc. And I'll do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I remember as soon as the track started, the energy in that room just erupted. Same as down in Melbourne last year. Same thing. You know, obviously on a much, much smaller scale as what the Les Mills Live in Melbourne last year was. But as soon as that music started, the energy in that room just, you can't, one, I can't describe it properly, but two, you can't bottle that stuff. Could you imagine if you could sell that energy? Sell that experience?
You cannot underestimate the power of it. It's just, it's like, I try and explain that to my friends, because like some of the friends that I've got don't understand what I do, you know, like, because they're not gym people and all that stuff, as they call me, the gym junkie, you know. But so come along and try it, come and do it. But it's just something that it's brought stuff out in me that I never thought I could ever do. And I'm doing it now, but on those big scale events, it's just another level. Like a rock. I explain to it is like a rock concert.
I agree with you on that. The energy, the atmosphere, the look on people's faces. When the music starts, there's that absolute euphoria of, yes, we are all in this together. And you get they're chatting, and the energy of the warm up, and you get into some of the heavy stuff in track 2 and 3. Mate, when people are pumping in track 5 and the music's going off and everyone is moving together, and just especially talking about RPM here, it just, well, the RPMers know. Those that don't do RPM won't know. And all I'll say to them is, guys, get in there and give it a shot one day. You know, you will, the endorphins will go nuts completely.
And that's two vivid memories I remember of being on, because I was lucky enough with Pump. We only had like a certain amount of time on stage because there was a certain amount of shadows, so we rotated. And I was lucky enough to be on there for the backtrack. And it was just such a, like, Jacko was one side, and Lee took a photo, and I've still got it of myself and Jacko doing a high pull, and I thought I looked pretty fit. I wasn't too bad as I was shaking up against Jacko, this big machine guy, you know. Like, and but I still remember those, looking out into the sea of 1,000 people or 900 people, whatever it was. The clean and press. It was just like synergy.
Watching it happen. It
just happened, and every barbell move is one. It's one. It's such a good thing.
It's different. I think a lot of participants, a lot of instructors that don't get an opportunity or haven't had an opportunity to be up on stage for an event like that completely miss out, because that's while it's great to be in the class on the floor doing it, and you've got all your peers around, you've got all your mates around, you're having a whole lot of fun, to watch it and have that opportunity as a trainer presenter up on stage, as you said, to watch 900 or 1,000 people move in unison together is just an absolute, it leaves an imprint on your mind.
It is crazy. And I'll that'll go to my grave. For sure. And treasure it and continue to treasure it, and hopefully get more opportunities as we move forward. Before I'm 22.
Yes. Next year or this year?
Come on, mate.
Love it. Now, you're trainer and presenter, or just
trainer and presenter? Yeah. So I'm trained in sprint as well, but trainer and presenter in both RPM and Pump.
Okay, cool. And let me ask you this question, because I've asked it to everybody as well. Do you have a favourite? Do you prefer the presenter role, or do you prefer the trainer role, or are they ticking boxes in both?
Mate, they're both. Jeez, I can't split it. Honestly, can't. Because my away job from this is I teach at TAFE. I'm a TAFE teacher. So
okay,
background's automotive, as you can see my car seats in the background. So
yep.
I'm a panel beater by trade, and I taught that there and moved into teaching Cert 3 at TAFE in fitness. Yeah. Yep. And then I've moved into the management role of alongside looking after, if it's a long one, disability and ageing in the health sector. So like I'm doing that as well. Yeah, that's cool. It's such a good thing. So like I said, this stuff has given me the tools to be able to move through my life. To do
totally.
Yeah.
Now, just on that, while we're here, those red seats back there behind you.
Oh yeah.
What car are they going in?
HR, mate. HR. So it's my second car. I've got a 65 Mustang. So that's
what I saw on Facebook today, and was going to say to you, mate, I'm coming down for a visit.
Ask Ian Hennessy.
Yep.
He's been in it. He's had a ride.
Right. Okay, when we finish this, I'm booking a flight. I'll be on my way, mate. Love it. That's fantastic. So, trainer presenter, you're saying it's 50-50 with both of them? Yep.
Yeah, so that's right. I got sidetracked, didn't I? Sorry.
That's right. I was with it. As soon as you started talking about cars, I was like, I've sent us off.
Yeah, so presenter was always presenter first, but I always wanted to train because I always wanted to be a teacher of some caliber, and so the training came along second. So I find it hard to split because I get a buzz out of both.
Yep. And that's totally respectable. Totally respect that, because from chatting to the guys that I have, it ticks different boxes.
Yeah.
It fills your cup in different ways because you love being up there and you love presenting and being in front of all your peers and bringing out the new stuff and seeing the look on everyone's faces. But it's also the being able to pass on that wisdom and knowledge that you have.
That's right. And the other thing is, the other thing is too, like, you train, you present a role, you're there for, 1 or 2 classes, you fly in, 1 or 2 classes, chat and do your stuff and all that, and you fly out again. With a trainer role, either it's online or it's face-to-face, you get to know them. You really get to know them. And as I said, Zach, I'll go back to Zach, he was in my very first pump module when I was on my own. And, I can't explain the words that I get from seeing people grow, and that's sharing of my knowledge. We all preach from the same hymn book, but like we all put our own influences on it, I guess, to make it realistic and authentic, and to be able to explain to trainees, hey, it's okay if you don't get your choreo right first. I was in that place once before. I can't read music, but I can feel music. I can hear music. I can teach it show you other ways to do that. Scripting. Hey, that's a great way to do it. But here's Bill's way of scripting. Let's have a look at this and do it.
Yep.
Wow, where did that come from? So like that's I think like 50-50, mate.
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah, I could say, I'll touch on scripting there for a second and the way people learn. Everyone learns differently.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Shannon Cleary, sitting down next to her one lunchtime many, 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 many moons ago. She's listening to it. She's got a choreo notes there, but she's not looking at the choreo notes. She's actually writing Shannon version of the choreo notes. There was a triangle, there was a square, and there was a number next to it, and every symbol meant something different to her, and that was her way of interpreting what it was that had to be done. Now, Shannon was an international master trainer for years and years and years. And
she was.
When I sat next to Shannon and watched that, I was like, what are you doing? She's like, well, mate, this is the only way I can do it. She said, this, 3, 1, 2, 2, whatever's going on here in pump. She's like, nah, that don't mean nothing to me. I've got to listen to it, go through, and and it was so refreshing to see that, and also realize then that it's okay, because the way I learned was so different. Yeah. It took me such a long time. I've got to hear the music and 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 hear the music. Then it all falls into place.
Yeah.
But I'm also that type of person that once I learn it, I'll never forget it. I don't know what goes on in this brain up here, but it's like a filing cabinet. I'll just go, RPM 28. Yep, track 4. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. As soon as I start hearing the music, the body goes, okay, yes, this is what we've got to do.
Yeah.
And I think we all learn in different ways, but be able to pass that language or that skill on to new people and get them to realize, because most of them coming into training are scared shitless, as I was. thinking, oh shit, I can't do this. I'm not coming back next week, or screw that, I'm not even coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
To go, guys, it's okay.
Yeah,
You're going to get through this.
You're going to get through it. And the thing is, it's if it's new, it's going to take a bit. But once you get, look back on it, they'll in probably 6 months' time, I think, oh, what was I worrying about? And it gets easier as you go. I guess, in a way. And I'll just touch on the presenting a little bit more, and it's something that I really like to do. And once again, I go back to my mentors that I call them mentors, but they're friends. Dallas, Lee, Ian, Jacko, Karen, Wendy, all those people. I've really learned to be me, to be me on stage, and so I just always go into a workshop. We say the workshops are presenting with something that's it's always going to be different to the masterclass. It's always going to be different to the masterclass. It's always going to be something one thing that I really want to make an impact on. Whether it's a word or a remove or something like that, or not saying nothing, and it's sort of and I use that to keep me straight and narrow, without getting overawed with it all.
You touched on something there that I think is very, very vital, is being you.
Absolutely.
It's so many. I've chatted to so many instructors, so many over the years that I didn't get accepted for this, or Les Mills didn't look at me for that, whatever, and they get the shit, so they get disgruntled by it all and turn around and go, Les Mills is shit, I'm going to go and do something else. And it's like, well, hang on a second, think about why. And most of the time, I'm not going to say all the time, but most of the time, it's because they're not being themselves. They don't know who they are yet. So when they're teaching, they're not teaching being real. They're not teaching being them. They're trying to be Glenn, or they're trying to be Bill, or they're trying to be Lee, or they're trying to be somebody else. They're not themselves. And it was that, I've said this many times on here, it's at that moment when I became me, I realized I don't need to be anybody else. I just need to be Tony.
That's
people in front of me just want to see Tony. Don't want to see a little mini Pete Manuel up there. I don't want to see another Shannon Cleary up there. They want to see Tony Zato. That's who they want to see up there. And it was when that all fell into place that my teaching became easier. The words started to flow a lot easier. It just all falls into place. And I think that's the message I'll pass on to instructors now is, guys, be you.
Absolutely.
100% you. I'm going to a CrossFit place down here in Wollongong at the moment, and there's a young guy that's just started training up to be the coach. Now he just doesn't know him. He's 18, 19. He just doesn't know himself yet. And he's been getting a lot of feedback, and some of the feedback has been a bit harsh because some of the guys there are a little bit like, well, we expect to stand it up to here because it's always been run like that. But at the same time, feedback I've given him has been, mate, just be you. Stop trying to be Sam. Stop trying to be someone else. Just teach in your style. You know what you've got to do. Oh, you guys this, you guys that. You should be feeling this. How about you just be you?
Just be you. That's right. Trust the process. And that's what the process we do. We've got a teacher class. We've got to follow choreography. It's backed by great creators. So if you get to, I always say, just trust the process and let it happen, and let it happen how you want it to happen. So not, like you say, not so much me or Glenn, whoever, or the person down the road. Is how you want to put that spiel onto it. And as we go into presentations with co-trainers, presenters on the workshop weekends, etc., a lot of the thing I get back from how we always have a chat after, we catch up after, how do we go, and I really hold myself in a good stead. They always say, Bill, you make me feel so at ease on stage. I said, well, it's only me. It's, we're teaching a class. Don't get nervous. And I say, you're just so easy to get along with. And I guess that's one of my strengths. I'm pretty easy to get along with too. So
What's new in fitness? The Australian fitness industry news and commercial gym equipment suppliers website designed to provide fitness industry professionals with knowledge and information to make better informed business decisions.
I think even in a way you've sort of answered the next question I was going to ask you was what bit of advice would you like to pass on to anyone that's that's being a trainer, that's out there as an instructor?
Oh, wow.
In a way, you know, I'm going to say that's, you know, be you is part of it.
Be you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and like, never take criticism to heart, because the criticism is never directed at personally. It's only at the personal growth. So that's one of the beauties of what we're doing these days. As we said, how the processes have changed through Les Mills. So we have our every quarter we would send a track in, and we get feedback from our Jacko and Ian for the programs we're in, and there's always like great things you've done that let's work on this, you know, and they give you the freedom to it gives you the freedom to really explore yourself more, and I know there was a stage there with RPM. I was just going through a real fucked up stage, if you know what I mean. Like it's hard to explain it. Like trying to coach and overthinking shit and doing it, and you know, and Ian was brilliant. He just said, you know, Billy, where are you going with this? What are you trying to do? So I'm trying to get more out of the music, you know, just more out of the music or something like that. And he said, well, just let it come through.
Yep.
And I think I listened to a podcast. He was talking there once about Mike McSweeney telling you to shut up or something, wasn't it? It's pretty much what Ian was telling me, I think, but he said it nicely.
Yeah. No, look, that stays with me forever, that one. But Mike McSweeney at the end, Tone, set him up, then shut up. And track 6, it's always what I did from then on was set him up, and when you've got someone that you respect that much telling you as frank as they possibly can, and giving you the feedback. I could have sat there and just gone, oh, that was a bit bloody harsh.
Yeah.
Mike, you know, what the bloody hell? No, if anyone's ever met Mike McSweeney, that he was the type of guy that didn't mince his words. Was going to say to you, Tone, this is exactly how it is, and this is what you need to know.
Yeah.
Go for it. It's so nice when you get someone that's able to give you the feedback too. Yeah. And as you said, take it on board. Take it on board.
Take it on board and learn to grow with it. Like there's something that the feedback you take on, take it on, but then go and use it. Like if it is to do with, you know, your voice or the way you're saying things, like or the way you're moving, or just all the real simple things, like never be afraid to put, as we are now, put the video on yourself and be the eyes and ears of the people that are in front of you, because you can't do that. You can't see your own self until you actually see yourself on a some kind of a platform. So to me, honestly, I guess it's like being true to yourself. Just be you, and obviously, like don't take anything to heart. Don't take anything to heart, even though it's hard sometimes.
Love that, mate. Hey, have you got a favourite release in any of the programs you teach? Is there a release where you go, this is the one that I love so much? And if there is, why is it?
Okay, so, wow. I should have done my research on this one.
Oh, I've put you on the spot. I haven't even prepared you for this.
75. There's something about RPM 75 that I go to. I don't know why. But it's just that I just seem to like the music, or the flow of it in that one. It's got a really good flow and feel from front to back.
Yep.
Pump wise, 99. I just love that. I think in that one, it's the music. It's just so like grungy, strong beat, and I love that stuff because I can really like amp myself up with it, you know. And I think that one, that's probably a personal one, because we went to my wife and I went to Auckland and went to the filming for that. So
awesome.
That's kind of
there's a memory.
Probably why, I reckon. But there's many often they blend into one after a while.
Yeah, so true. No, I like hearing that because I think for me there's a couple that sort of real stand out, but then it's not so much releases for me. There are songs that are absolute bangers where you just go, you know what, that song is. If someone says to me, you know, RPM, what's your favourite song? It'd be, or if they said to me, Tone, you know, Pump, what is it? But for me, it's a lot of the older style music, and that's nothing against what the programs are these days, but I can't even put the radio in the car these days and listen to the radio. I just cannot do it, and I struggle big time. Mate, that's where I'm starting to show my age,
I'll tell you a story. Recently this year, I taught a class to a year 11 and 12 college group at the gym at midday. It was during the day. I took the time off work, went up there. put a playlist together, and I thought, I don't know these songs, like Heaven and all this stuff like that, and a bit of old stuff. Got in there, started playing the music, and fuck, they don't know this music. I'm looking. I said, do you know this song? Well, so anyhow, I thought, I've got to think quick on my feet here. So, as it was going, I got my iPod and looked through it, and I picked up Ed Sheeran, Castle on the Hill from RPM. Put it on, and I said, you might know this song like that. And all of a sudden, 15 to 20, kids that never rode an indoor class before. Yeah, I was all singing this bloody song. It was just like heaven. I just rode, listened. Yep. Encouraged, and the feedback I got from the teacher was like they loved it. So music. So I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna get you to ask me a question. Ask me which was my favourite RPM track.
Bill, what's your favourite RPM track?
I'm not telling you. No.
No, it's. I'm gonna have a think here. It's gonna be in the 30s somewhere.
No, it's not actually.
Completely wrong.
No. So it's With or Without You, track 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So once again, I think it resonates me back to the time when Anne and myself and the family we lost Tracy. So it's I play that song not a lot, but I play it regularly. Especially when we start mixing music, and I'll be honest with you, mate. Every time I teach it, there's always tears, so it means a lot to me. And the words are great. The music's just got a good feel with it, and
mate, never lose that. Never lose that feeling. Never
and
lose
that's another thing to instructors out there. Teach the same track, teach it differently.
Yeah. Oh, mate, that's yes. No, you're saying that you've casted my mind back to days in Canberra for Les Mills and teaching the same tracks that I would have taught in Sydney, but making sure that I taught them so different.
Yeah.
So that it was a different experience. Even if there was one track that, The Boys of Summer was my go-to track, because it was always my track that, throw this on and, I can smash it. But I made sure that while the choreo was spot on, what come out of here and the atmosphere was different time and time again. Yeah, they loved that version. And so, okay, I might do that version for a week, but then I'll mix it up and throw something else in there as well.
Yeah. But so that's probably my go-to track for RPM and Pump. Well, I kind of like. I can't think of the name of the song. It's a bicep track. No, don't know. I lost that one. I might have to edit that bit, mate.
It's all good. Mate, it's showing you're 21. Yeah, it's okay. We're allowed. We're allowed.
I know the song. I can't remember the name. Yeah.
Well, mate, as I said before, that most of the stuff that I really loved was stuff in the 30s and 40s and 50s for Pump. Yeah. That was my era. That was what I really gelled with in training. And when during COVID, that's what Rach and I would do. We'd jump in the garage and put on the old DVDs and be like, be like, oh, how was that one? It's like, that was bloody hard. Not saying that stuff today isn't, but it was just, that was the back then. There's so many memories of some amazing classes and some amazing experiences of that early stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And as you say, back in the day, there was more around that strength, endurance focus. It was
so different.
Just a different feel. And the memories, the memories are there. And I don't try to dwell too much on that stuff because, as we've got to try and move forward with it. But I always go back to it, and it's just a nice place to go back to think about what we did back there and where we are now and where we're going to go with this stuff. And whether it's for me, I'm hoping I haven't got a full stop on the time and I'm going to stop doing training presenting. So that there will be a time when I have to make that decision. So while I've got that opportunity, I'll continue to create myself and be me.
Yep. Well, I love hearing that. Mate, what do you love about group exercise?
Okay. Inclusion, being inclusive, I think. That's the biggest one for me. Letting people come into a space where they feel comfortable enough to be either themselves or into themselves. Not being in their face too much. I'm really aware of that in my classes. I aim to, as you know, scout the room, be there early, all that stuff as we do as we grade instructors or teachers or trainers. But also I've learned to recognise their personal space and why they are there. What's the reason that they come to group fitness? What are they achieving? Whether it's friendships, whether it's fitness, whether it's fun, or all that group feel. I think that's the biggest thing that I love about the group fitness side of it.
Yep.
I remember a conversation that I had with a member a couple of 3 years ago, and it was just after we come back from COVID. That's right, when the gyms had started opening up, so it probably wasn't that long ago. And how it went about was, people were talking about online. Why don't you do it online and all that stuff? And and she said, yeah, but I come here to talk to the people on the reception. I come here to do, I think body balance wasn't pumping like that, and then we go and have a coffee after. That's the stuff that makes me buzz, I guess, in group fitness. And I'm going to be selfish now. Without group fitness, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Because even now, I said to my wife before I started, I'm going to be talking about myself, and I'm not the person that likes talking about myself, But for me, when I walk into a room, something changes.
Yep.
And if you can ask me what it is, I have no idea. Just something comes into it's just like someone injects something into my body, and I'm a different person. And I walk out of the room and I'll go back to Bill. But I'm still being me on stage, but I can't express that around other people.
I understand what you're saying. Yep. And I get that. And that's, again, appreciate it. Appreciate it for you being you and being present in understanding that as well.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're still Bill, but when you walk into that room, something else takes over. There's a different purpose or different something that happens where you are, I'll say this in not Bill on steroids. Yeah. Not on steroids, but it's you magnified it and doing your thing and making it all come. You're totally there in the moment, being completely aware of what's going on around you. It's all magnified. And then once the music stops and you can walk out of the room, you go back to Bill.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Still Bill, but it's
back in. Yes, right. Yeah. And I think as instructors, etc., involved with the Les Mills world, know that we speak about being the ultimate you, and there's a section in the modules that we work through and do that. And I guess that's what it is. You're putting on your body pump hat, you're putting on your sprint hat, your RPM hat, or balance hat, whatever it may be, and you're just teaching to the program's essence, and it shows. It shows.
The ultimate you. You nailed that. The ultimate you. That's whoever's come up with that for Les Mills. That's brilliant because that sums it up so perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it does, and and it's such a good feeling, and and I go back to the word scripting. Like I script in ways, not writing a lot now, but it's more about what is my one thing that I want to get out of this track? What is my one thing? Yep. And that one thing will be, as Ian and I have spoke about a lot, and Sam and George, I touch base with those guys, and I hate using names because I'm frightened I'm going to miss people's names. So if I have missed people's names,
we'll forgive you.
Yeah. But that one word will drive my track. It'll basically say, okay, that's what I'm going to try and get from that track, and the next time it might be something different. So that helps me get through it.
This is the GROUPEX Podcast.
What does the future hold for you, mate? How long? I mean, you touched on it before that you're not really wanting to stop. There's no full stop for you, but you're looking to train up in other programs? Are you, what are you looking to do?
Okay. So, at this point in time, I've I've completed my diploma of fitness, etc. I've done all that stuff, and I really I love and personal training. I do some personal training and all that stuff as well. But like, I really like the. I can see myself going down the lines of athletic development or something like that. You know, down the future. I dabbled a little bit this year in the local footy side, Harleston Footy Club, training there, or helping them train them up for pre-season, etc. And I really like that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking I wouldn't mind doing some strength and conditioning and moving forward with that.
Cool.
Once this career opportunity ceases, but at this point in time, I'm really happy doing what I'm doing. Like I just really focus on my own training at the moment, making sure I'm in good, not so much good nick, but to be able to stay in the longevity of it. Another tip for instructors, look after your body. Don't overtrain. Don't anyhow, all that stuff. So that's where I am at the moment, and I like the look of the new program that Les Mills have got out and off, and now it's a strength development one. Strength development one. I like the look of that one too, and I kind of am interested in that, but I'm not sure. I need to talk to Michael and Josh about that to see how we get ourselves into it. But that stuff interests me. Yeah, it really does.
Brilliant, mate. So there's years to come yet, which is fantastic to hear.
Oh yeah. No, like I know, and I hope that I can add value to Les Mills as long as I can, and even past to the point where if I'm get to the point where I know I've got to the point where I can't continue to do the training presenting side of it. Like I'm hoping that, you never know, there might be some opportunities to still be involved in Les Mills at some kind of a way that just wait till that door opens or that door closes and see what the door opens after that. Yeah.
No, mate, you're doing all right for 21, so keep going, mate. You're doing 21. You're doing well.
Yeah.
Love it.
Brilliant.
Bill, mate, thank you so much for coming on and spending some time with me and sharing you and your story, mate. I've honestly, I know I say it to everyone, but I really do, really thoroughly enjoy chatting to you guys, and I've enjoyed chatting to you tonight and getting to know you, mate. So thank you.
Yeah, no, it's good, and just for people out there that are thinking about doing it or contemplated doing it, or just try not to think about it too much and sign up and have a go at the program that you love. We're heavily talking RPM and pump tonight, but there's also some other amazing options out there, programs from the Les Mills side of it. So you never know, you could be the next person that's doing what we're doing, and just you can go and change your life, create life-changing experiences for everyone, anywhere and any time these days, online, offline, in person, etc. So I've enjoyed it, mate. Thank you so much for your time.